Hey, it's Hipster George Washington. Welcome to Hipster Codes. So let's say that you just downloaded some sort of awesome looking Halloween spooky fab asset. You got a graveyard scene, you got a bunch of stuff here, you got the moonlight going, or you built it yourself because you're a pro gamer and and you're really good at level design and you're patient and stuff. AKA you're better than me. But then whenever you go and click play, you get this. Oh my god, it's 3 frames a second. Oh my god, how am I supposed to test the game like this? Maybe it'll run a little bit better whenever it's built, but you can't actually run it in editor like this, so you have to go and turn the settings down. Where you want to go is up here in the top right corner. They keep changing it. I feel like it was over here at one time, then it was over here at one time. They keep throwing it all over the place. It's this little speedometer dial. It says performance and scalability tools tied to this, what did it say? Tied to this viewport. So you can go over to viewport scalability, and sometimes your default assets will have really high scalability out of the gate, or yours will work with really high scalability. Then you'll start adding assets and different lights and stuff, and then it'll stop working. So if you want to go all the way low, obviously it's going to work fantastic, but now it looks like complete doo-doo. This looks like poop. What the heck? This is not spooky. This is not Halloween vibes. This is supposed to be super scary, spoopy Halloween. So what you can do is you can sort of game the system a little bit. Different settings here, have different sorts of, effect on your GPU and your CPU and whatnot. So if you want, you can just go and mess around with these. What I've found is you can usually turn the shadows up and get a really cool amount of, we can get a little bit of post-processing, get a really cool amount of benefit for a noticeable increase in how good it looks for just a little bit of a performance hit. And so now you see we're still getting about the same performance that we were getting off of basic, and we only turned things up that we needed to. We only turned the shadows up. So you can actually specify what you want to have, whatever the people play the game. But if you want to actually change it permanently or I shouldn't say permanently, if you wanted to change it at runtime, aka use blueprints to do it so that your players aren't going to accidentally see this super ugly scalability setting. You want to make sure that the shadows are always on medium or high, because you know that they're pro gamers too, and they're going to be on PCs that aren't going to be completely dog doo-doo. Unlike me, my PC's pretty much dog doo-doo. But there's a couple of different ways you can go about it. So I usually like to go about setting it within the player controller. Oh, I'm here in the default game mode. So let's go to third person game mode. I think we want the game to look like this. So to make sure that it's working, we're going to turn it here to low. And I'm going to set it here on the player controller. But you can kind of set it anywhere that, will be run at runtime. There's probably some, let me know in the comments what you actually set it on, what you would set this on, your game settings, if I can get it to work. Okay, it's not working. I'm going to set my own controller because I can't figure it out. Let's just do spooky controller. We're going to set it here, make sure everything still works. Everything still works. And so here on our spooky game controller, you can go into the event graph here on begin play. What we want is the game user settings. And I think it needs the controller to actually work, because I've tried accessing this before. I could be wrong. You might be able to access this anywhere. So like I said, if you change your game settings anywhere else, let me know where you update them. But you're going to do get user game settings, and out of this, there's going to be a bunch of objects that you can actually manipulate. This is actually how you can change the dimensions. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that. But what you could do here is set engine. Let's see, is it engine? Do scalability. Set overall scalability. But see, this is the, all of them are set to a integer, where 0 is low and 4 is cinematic. But what we want is everything to be set at 0, and then we want 3 for epic to be what we set the shadows at. So we could set all of them like this here, but then we want to set, set shadow quality. We can set that at 3. Let's make sure that it's all plugged in. They're all going to come out of the user settings, the game user settings. And then you have to do one more thing where you have to, what is it? Apply settings. And so now once somebody plays it, you can see here in our map, we're still at low everything. Then whenever we play it, we're going to see an increase in the shadows. Basically here, I just wanted to show that you can change the engine scalability up here. If you are brand new to Unreal Engine, sometimes you don't realize that you could do this. If you're not brand new to Unreal Engine and you're like me, every time that they change where it's at with a different version of Unreal, you're looking all over, so it's right there. But also it took me forever to realize that you can actually change the settings in the game here, and you can kind of get away with a little bit of, gaming the system by changing just like the shadows or the reflections, depending on what your scene specifically looks like, to get a lot of benefit and really not let people's machines take a huge hit. Now, there's a lot that you can go to dive into real optimization. That's something that I'm trying to get a lot better at myself. As I continue to get better at it, I'll probably make videos on it. But this is a way that you can do it in just a few minutes, and then you can still make your levels with really unique lighting like this potentially look really good and not make it so that people's computers die just running your level. So hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, leave a like, leave a subscription. Making videos here every Wednesday here at Hipster Codes. Again, I'm Hipster George Washington. I hope you all have a great, happy Halloween 2025, or if you're watching this, whatever holiday is coming up soon. But thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Binary spells, no need to